how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim coming to you from LA Fitness. And apparently I don't have my dates right. I just deleted Crushing It for Christ. Don't ask me why I deleted it. It's not the right day. It's not the right time. I said what I did. A few of you saw it. I apologize. I opened up the book on the wrong date. I thought it was the wrong date. I didn't have my little marker in here correctly. I only had 1 cup of coffee. I made a boo-boo. Today is March 11. Thank you to the subscriber that corrected me. We're going to do a do-over. And I think that the reason that I deleted it, I haven't even read this yet, that God may have said, you need to do the right one. So here we go again. Anyway, things happen, folks. March 11th, from Crushing It with reading Jesus Calling, a devotional book sent to me from a subscriber over Christmas. And it's been a great part of my life and a part of some of the community's life that enjoy hearing it. And we talk about it after we read it. And it's just a little something to start our day. Most days that I put them up, which are most days. Just to, before we get out there and begin our day and have to deal with the onslaught of what comes our way, we are better prepared to handle the world. And we need tools. Like any good occupation requires tools. You got to have the right tools. And the right tools make a difference versus those incorrect tools or no tools at all. So let's read March 11th, 2024. And it says, walk by faith, not by sight. As you take steps of faith, depending on me, I will show you how much I can do for you. If you live your life too safely, you will never know the thrill of seeing me work through you. When I gave you my spirit, I empowered you to live beyond your natural ability and strength. That's why it is so wrong to measure your energy level against the challenges ahead of you. The issue is not your strength, but mine, which is limitless. By walking close to me, you can accomplish my purposes in my strength. Man, is that a good one. I'm not glad I got it wrong this morning in that respect, but I'm glad I'm definitely doing this one today. This is a good one. The 3 scriptures that follow the devotional this morning, the first one is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, and it's being read from the New King James Version, a little more modern English of the King James. And it's a short one. For we walk by faith, not by sight. And we're going to talk about that. The next one is from the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 25. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. And the final one is a book, the Old Testament, the book of Psalms. And it's in Psalm chapter 59, verses 16 and 17. But I will sing of your strength in the morning, and I will sing of your love. For you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. Oh, my strength, I sing praise to you. Oh, you, O God, are my fortress, my loving God. All right, let's go back over the devotional this morning. Walk by faith, not by sight. Now, this is, I think even people that aren't familiar with the Bible have heard this verse, that know this scripture. Well, what does it mean? When you read scriptures of the Bible and you talk about the Bible, everything can be interpreted differently, depending on what preacher you listen to, depending on what YouTuber you listen to, depending on what you read it as. God gives you ears to hear and eyes and a heart that's open to be receptive to what he's saying. But, when we say walk by faith, not by sight, you can't believe what you see. You can't trust in what you're looking at. You got to walk by faith. You got to understand that there is a deeper thing that can come from that, because he says right after that. That's why it's important. As you take steps of faith depending on me, I will show you how much I can do for you. So when you're taking those steps of faith depending on God, he will show you how much he can do for you. If you live your life too safely, you will never know the thrill of seeing me work through you. All right, let's talk about that. You live your life too safely, you'll never know the thrill of seeing what he can do through you. Taking that step of faith, venturing out, trusting in that nudging that you're getting on that decision you're thinking about, or not doing something that you want to do that God's making you feel uneasy about. Making that purchase, taking that trip across the country, leaving your job, accepting that new job, taking a promotion, not taking one, thinking about meeting someone, going online. What about the thrill of not knowing what can happen if you were to hang up certain proclivities that you have, certain sins that you're doing, certain things that you're reading, certain actions that you're doing that are not good, certain proclivities like drinking alcohol, doing drugs, smoking pot, talking with a potty mouth, living in squalor, not cleaning up after yourself, letting your bed stay messed up, not washing your dishes right after you use them. What about that? What about the thrill that you could experience that when you take those steps of faith, depending on him, how he will show you how much he can do for you. And if you live your life too safely and don't step outside of your comfort zone, you will never know the thrill of seeing me work through you. All right, you may find comfort in alcohol and drugs. You may find comfort in just walking and rolling out of bed, not even taking a shower, and washing the sleep off like I haven't done yet, but I'm here to do it. You may find thrill and not find thrill in those things that you feel safe in, with taking some money out, taking your Social Security at 62. Why wait for life to pass you by? What good is there? Why not take the faith that you can't see, that comes through faith, not by sight, by taking your retirement early and throwing out those ideas that you've been brainwashed to believe and letting life just pass you on by? For what? For money? To keep working? For letting freedom and life just pass you by that you can't get back? That you'll soon enough be out of here? All you are is a simple mist, a fog that's here and burned off tomorrow. Gone. And then he says, when I gave you my Spirit, the counsel of truth, the Holy Spirit, I empowered you to live beyond your natural ability and strength. As soon as you accept Christ into your life and accept the Holy Spirit, you have abilities to do beyond anything you can imagine. And how do you achieve them? By believing in that, by walking in faith, not by sight. That's how you do it. I empowered you to live beyond your natural ability and strength. That's why it is so wrong to measure your energy level against the challenges ahead of you. That's why it's so wrong to measure your abilities, your energy level against these challenges. People say, oh, Tim, you're going to be much more comfortable with that big, giant RV behind your truck, dragging it all over the country, down narrow roads, scratching it all up next to little trees, maneuvering it in the parking lot like this. Everywhere you go, you got to be worried about Can you get it in there? Can you get it out of there? Setting all that stuff up. When they make different sizes for different needs. And I'm looking to bounce around and explore and see the world and get on an e-bike and cook outside and make videos and enjoy my life. Feel like a kid again, bringing you some kind of pleasure through living vicariously through me. There's a place for a big Flagstaff to take a beautiful vacation and set it up for a week or two somewhere and come back home with it. You know, take it down the freeway where it's open and you can travel without any. But the roads that I'm planning on going, God brought this into my life. I got a good deal on it. And I'm stepping out. That's why it's so wrong of you to measure your energy level against the challenges ahead of you. Yeah, you guys, some of you are measuring your energy level to my energy level, saying you're going to be so much more comfortable. That's projection. That's you saying what you feel comfortable with. I don't. I feel energized. I feel ready to take on these challenges. I'm ready to, beyond just setting up a tent. And I want to buy one of those too and set it up just outside my teardrop for a little sitting room, standing room, changing room. I want to use that outdoor kitchen. I don't want to be inside. I want to be outside cooking. I want a campfire. I want to do these things. At my energy level, I'm stepping outside of my boundaries. And why? Because God said, I gave you my spirit. I empowered you to live beyond your natural ability. I'm 65 years old. I'm going to live beyond my natural abilities. You can do it too. So don't judge. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, wake up. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about stepping out of your own safe feelings. What does he say about safety? I empowered you to live beyond your natural ability and strength. That is why it's so wrong for you to measure your energy level. We said it about 10 times now, right? Ahead of you. The issue is not your strength, but mine, which is limitless. The issue is not your strength, but my strength, which is limitless. I've got limitless strength. I'm not worried about mine. I'm going to go out there now and just tour this country beyond my safety zone, beyond my limited abilities, beyond what I think in my mind I can do. I can crush it all. I'm getting it. I'm getting the spirit, man. I'm feeling it this morning. The issue is not your strength, but mine, which is limitless. By walking close to me, you can accomplish my purpose in my strength. His purpose for my life is what I want. It is not my purpose. You shouldn't be making, I hate to always come back on this, but you should forget your purposes. You should make your life his purpose. His purpose is a better purpose that you can't imagine for your life. It might be very similar with all this investing and growing and buying and selling and having a big home and 3 cars and 6 credit cards and a wardrobe of clothes you haven't looked at in 3 years that are sitting in the rear hanger. It may be that junk you've got sitting in your garage that could be sold for money and you're not using anymore. I mean, it could be similar to accumulating and having and being successful in life, but it may not be the way you've gone about it. Now you've got all this baggage and all this stuff you're not even using. Why not live the life that the purpose of life that he has for you? You know he's the better purpose maker. You know he's the smarter one. Those that exalt themselves will be humbled. Don't get so high and mighty that you know what camper to use, what money to invest, when do you retire and get your Social Security, what to do. You don't know. All those people in the Bible that thought they knew, God said and laughed. Today, your life is going to be demanded from you. Don't be sitting there talking about what you're going to do at 70 and how you're going to keep going and doing what you're doing and investing and collecting a few hundred more dollars while you just let your life pass by. This purposeful life that he has for you, that you're refusing to live, that you're refusing to acknowledge him and invite him and wait for him to nudge you and tell you and guide you how to live more abundantly, more kind, more loving, more healthy. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. To get out there and walk, to eat right, to drink right. I'm talking to myself. Always taking your weakest link and making it your strongest link. Now you got a new weak link to work on. Always asking for the most purposeful life that you can live. Never walking by sight, but walk by faith. By forgetting, just because you built a few dominoes up and they're falling in your direction, that you want to continue to follow your purpose. Hold the phone there, my friend. Back up. Get down off that soapbox. Get down off that horse. Reevaluate. Get calm. Get peaceful. Say, hold it, Lord. I know I'm only here for a minute. What's the best minutes that I can spend here? What is your purpose for my life? I thought I was supposed to just keep on doing what I'm doing. And then I'm going to just have this great life when, it may not be but beyond next year. It may not be the rest of this year. So Lord, please change my mind. Change my purposes to your purposes. I think it's what it's saying here. And, walk by faith, not by sight. Because it comes to the scriptures here. The first one, it says, we walk by faith, not by sight. People start watching things on the internet. They go to these schools. They got this job. They got these people that come in that try to motivate them and teach them how to invest and to make most money. They listen to those financial counselors that everybody says you got to listen to, that make nothing but money on you listening to them. And you say, oh, I had it all wrong. Forget Tim, forget this guy, forget what I said, forget God. And let me put all my eggs in one basket and put all my stock in this guy. Because this guy's telling me what I want to hear. This guy says I'll have this much more money in 5 more years if I do what this guy, this gal says do. Forget faith, walk by sight. I can see this person. I can hear this person. This person made a video on YouTube and look, they got a suit on. Look at the room they're sitting in. It isn't no camper. It's a mansion. This person has to know what they're talking about. How foolish, folks. How foolish and how simple some people are led. I watch it every day on that air channels I got in between grit on these commercials. These silly commercials that prey on such vulnerable people that tell them what they need to do and how they need to give all their money away to them. And people are fooled every day. Oh yeah, you can be fooled. So it says, we walk by faith, not by sight. The next one is in Galatians 5. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. What is the Spirit? The Spirit's in you. That's the truth, the counselor of truth. That's God. That's Jesus. That's the Father. All of it is in you. Walk, he says. Oh, I'm excited this morning. Since we live by it, let us keep in step with it. All right, you're living by it. Go by step. Stay with it. Don't get ahead of it. That's what it means. Don't get ahead of it. Don't fall behind. Step by step, day by day, moment by moment. Don't start looking into tomorrow or next year or those next 5 years of waiting and working until you might get a few more dollars. I'm not sitting here, folks, saying quit your job today. I'm not saying you don't work until you're 67. I'm not saying you should or anything. I'm saying walk by faith and follow God step by step. Don't waste your life. Don't follow the purposes of what you think that you've been brainwashed into believing. You best get silent and quiet and listen and read your Bible and see what God's telling you. Maybe God's telling you, look, you're going to be able to provide for your children and your spouse a lot more if you keep doing a little bit more that I'm going to provide for you for them. Then God might be saying, you know what? I'm calling you home long before you think you got. So if you'd like to get on with the game and enjoy the best I have for you and the purpose for your life that I have for you, you best listen up and you best rethink everything. Because you're going to be regretful laying on a hospital bed saying, I wish I'd have worked more. I wish I'd have saved more. It's too late then, because once you leave, you're gone. What you get next is a new world, a new heaven, a new earth that God promises, where there's many mansions. And that's going to be a wonderful day. But for right now, for today, you need to crush what you got going today. Now, the last one says in the Psalms, but I will sing of your strength in the morning. I will sing of your love. For you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. Oh, my loving God. So, sing for your strength in the morning. That means pray to God, petition to God for strength every day in the morning, all day long. And then I will sing of your love, knowing how much God loves you, remembering that. And then knowing, for you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. Oh, my strength, I sing praise to you. What a fortress, my loving God. So, how do we wrap it up? How do we give an analogy of today's message? I'm so pumped today. I'm very close to beginning a new chapter in my life. And I read your comments, and I see the agreeing ones and the disagreeing ones and the ones that are just out there. I see it all. I see it all when I talk to people every day. And I don't see my life as perfect, and far from it. I'm just like you, but I'm trying and wanting these better things in life. I've already had a few blessings happen. Lots of them, I should say. Lots of them. And I just want to encourage others out there that there's a whole world, there's a whole treasure chest. There's a whole door you can open of all these things that God has stored for you that many people don't go and open. They don't ask for. They just walk by sight. They follow the seat of their pants. Their emotions, whatever happens that comes into their life is what rules their attitude. They don't seek the presence of God, the counselor of truth, the person that lives in you, to give you that direction. And all you got to do, you don't have to walk around carrying a Bible, beating people over the head, getting on a soapbox, acting like you're fasting, acting like you're holier than thou. You don't have to be anything other than who you are and what you've got in here and in here. And when you carry that every day, and each time you come to a transaction, a crossing of meeting someone, and you have to encounter another creation of God, another human being, and you can show the Christ that lives in you. You can speak in a language that isn't offensive. You cannot be smoking a cigarette in front of them. You cannot be inebriated. You cannot be stoned. You can be a wonderful, loving person that can lift up others that so need it, that are hurting, that are lost, that don't know these things. And all you're doing by reading your Bible, and maybe if you're hearing a good message in your church or you're watching them on TV, archives like from Charles Stanley and others that, what's the one from back in the day? Billy Graham. Man, he's got some good ones. He was a true man of God. He was a man, though. Charles Stanley is a man. He was a divorced person. He was a sinner. He puts his pants on like you and me, one leg at a time. But he also was blessed to share the word and to educate people through the teaching of God. And it's only my goal making these videos to hear myself talk and to inspire maybe somebody else. I've already had comments from people saying, keep it up, you've inspired me, and I needed that today. And I'll get rewards for it. I'm not the all teacher. I'm not the all knower. Maybe I'm even, not saying something exactly correct right now. Oh, pray that God gives you the right direction. But I don't want you to think that I'm insinuating you do anything different than what's the best thing for you. But don't trust in what I tell you. Trust in what God tells you. That's the only thing I want to say is just start searching for direction. It's really working out. When you see me make my videos about how I'm going to take off on this new endeavor, this new chapter of my life, something that a lot of people wouldn't do, something that a lot of women wouldn't do, recent women wouldn't do. And I get it. It's not their cup of tea, whatever. But I'm stepping outside of my boundaries. I have these endeavors that I want to do. I have limitless strength and possibilities because I've got God with me. It's going to be great. And I might get a flat tire. I might have car trouble. I might encounter somebody that's less than kind. All kinds of things could happen out there. But I'm more than prepared because I do have what I know I need, the most important thing. But I'm not going to sit by idle and just let my life pass me by. That's not what I want to do. I'm 65 years old. And the average age is 73. Let's say it's 78. What do I have potentially left? And if I do go to 100 or 85 years old, unless I'm a miracle of God and I'm just this Jack LaLanne of 85-year-olds, I'm going to be an 85-year-old. And it's not going to be the guy that I am today. I'm not even going to look like this kind of guy. So if I want to meet, go, do, have, enjoy the things that you can do when you look like this, act like this, feel like this, have these physical abilities, have these faculties, have this particular level of strength, have what I have and I possess right now. Why not use what you have at your disposal today? Why do you want to take all those and pack them all up, put them in a closet, not use them, and sit there and keep doing this mundane life, drinking, smoking, going to this job you don't need to go to anymore? You can go to something else half as often and start getting a rebate back in your life called a Social Security check to assist you so you can work a little less. And you don't have to let all of that time just pass you by. Only a little bit you can go to work. Why not start enjoying a life? Life is not meant to be, folks, to go to this place of business and stand behind that door for 8 hours, the peak best hours of the day, and let them just go by. Yes, you got to do it because you got to make money. Yes, you got bills you got to pay. I get it. There was a time for that. And I'm not speaking to those people at that age. But I'm talking to people now that are my age that can go to a place like that behind a door and be only there half as often. And the other half of your life you can spend enjoying your life, going places. Don't you want to do that? Don't you want to live the purposeful life that God has for you. It's not his purpose to make you a slave for some employer until you drop dead. I know that's not his purpose for everybody. You're born, you grow up, your parents take care of you, then you get a job and you work that job until one day they call in and say, he's not coming in, he died. That's not a life. No. He provides a great job for you to make the most money that he can trust you to have, to succeed in life, to have the things that he wants to give you. And he has a lot of things to give people, but they don't get them because two reasons. One, they don't sow good seed, and two, they don't ask. Two, they don't ask. You have not because you ask not. But you can't believe the life you can have. And it doesn't mean material things. It can mean just that mental attitude of joy and a smile, of knowing you've got somebody in your life that can help you, that loves you. You don't need a man. You don't need a woman. You don't need a big house. You don't need a Louis Vuitton purse. You don't need a Rolex watch. And this is not a Rolex. You don't need $1 million in the bank. You don't need the fancy car. You just feel happy naturally because you're being provided this never-ending water, this spring of living water that's in you. That because you meditate on him and love him, just like when you were a little boy and a little girl, and you just smiled and looked up at your mom and dad with amazement, with such love, and they looked down at you with just this. And I'm just thinking about a couple little girls right now. They looked at me with fun. They thought, man, this guy's cool. Plays with us. Takes us out to his truck. Comes in our little game room. Hangs out with us. Says these cute little things to us. I'll snatch a knot in your tail. Are you going to get a knot? I'm going to snatch a knot. They repeated them. They learned my sayings. And they looked at me with, like you look at yours. Like you looked at your parents when you were small. And that's all you got to be happy about. Is just not stuff and material. Not even taking a travel trip. But I'm going to be blessed with that because he knows. And I was a good boy. And I'm teaching about him. And so I'm sure I'm going to have a great time on my trip. I'm sure I'm going to be blessed because of the seed that I've sown. I'm not sitting here bragging and boasting. I'm just telling you, I've been getting these blessings. I've been feeling this happiness. I've been moved from one direction I was going to another. While I didn't like it and it was uncomfortable and I didn't understand why, and I don't know why so much time went by before this. Maybe because I wasn't living the right life. Before I found sobriety and cleaned up my mouth and started meditating more on God, who I've known my whole life, that I just put in that closet. I bundled those things up and I put them away and I lived for me. Me. And just following whatever desires I wanted. Eat, drink, be merry, do what I feel like doing. Talk the way I want to talk. And then I don't know. He came into me. He said, son, you've been with me. You've always believed in me. It's time for some correction. And they were hard choices. They were hard corrections. It was like getting those spankings that they don't believe in anymore. I got my spankings. And it woke me up. And now I'm trying to do it. And I'm trying to just share in any way that I know how to do it for you. That you can have a better life. Don't worry about what others say. they don't have your best interest. They really don't. Some might, but most don't. They just like to hear themselves talk. God's got your best interest. Listen to him, not me, but I'm telling you to get with him. Get with him right now. Pray to him to give you the nudging and the umptions today to make all kinds of changes, to fill you with that living water, that spirit of happiness and joy, to be able to give you the purpose in your life. It may be being with someone. It may be being without someone. You know, God is jealous. He doesn't like it when you worship someone else more than him, or something, a truck, a camper, money, jewelry, watches, whatever. He's jealous. He's like, what about me? I gave you everything. I brought you into this world. I'm watching over you. I saved you from an accident 5 minutes ago because you caught this last red light. You got to be remembering these things, folks. You got to get real. We've got to tell the world. It's changed now. And it's changed to a world that I remember, a much better world in so many different ways. I know we have a lot of new technologies that do help everything in our world, but there's a lot of crazy, crazy stuff that is influencing people so much easier. Before, it took a long time for people to be influenced to start living a sinful life. Now they just pick up their phone or look at their computer or read comments or watch a YouTube channel or TikTok or a TV program or a housewives show, the media. And they can be influenced like this because they esteem these liars, these media people, these lawyers, these financial people, these all of them, telling you to convince you to go along with this evil thing. The government, they don't have any interest in you. They wish a lot of us would go away. They don't want to help people out. They don't want to give them anything that just for whatever reason don't have the physical abilities and the natural talents to go out and be super successful like you are and be able to speak maybe like I do. They got dealt what they got dealt with. But they're God's creation. They need to eat. They need to be able to enjoy the same self-esteem that you have. But certain people and places, the media, with these wars and the way they want to pit people against one another, races and all these things, that they're bad, you're good, this is the way, not their way. Baloney. We are all one world. We are all one creation by one creator. And the sooner you learn this, and the sooner you trust in one thing and get rid of all that other stuff I just mentioned, take it with a grain of salt. Don't even watch it. Get the weather and forget about it. You know, really, filter that out. Change your life, folks, and crush it.